A full slate of matches already set for Raw. I'm Matt Carlins, and this is Just Pro Wrestling News for Monday, December 20th, 2021. This update is brought to you by IndieWrestling.us. That's Indie with a Y.
WWE.
5 matches are already announced for tonight's Raw. United States Champion Damien Priest has a non-title match against Dolph Ziggler. One half of the WWE Women's Tag Champs, Queen Zelina, is set to face Rhea Ripley. Plus, Finn Balor versus Austin Theory, Rey and Dominik Mysterio versus AJ Styles and Omos. And for the third straight week, Bianca Belair versus Doudrop. Drew McIntyre will face Madcap Moss at the Day 1 pay-per-view. McIntyre reclaimed his sword on last Friday's SmackDown. It was stolen by Moss and Happy Corbin 2 weeks ago, along with the desk Drew plunged it into. The big news coming out of SmackDown, Roman Reigns fired Paul Heyman and hit Heyman with a Superman punch before Brock Lesnar showed up and hit Reigns with a pair of F5s. Toni Storm will challenge Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship on the Christmas Eve episode of SmackDown. Storm and Sasha Banks beat Flair and Shotzi on last Friday's SmackDown when Toni rolled up Charlotte for the pin. Also on the show, King Woods and Kofi Kingston won a non-title match against the SmackDown Tag Champs, the Usos. Those two teams were already set for a title match at Day 1. Naomi used a roll-up to pin Shayna Baszler in less than a minute. Ridge Holland pinned Cesaro with a power slam. And the Viking Raiders beat Jinder Mahal and Shanky, who took the pin. WWE held tryouts at its Performance Center last week, and among the familiar faces that were spotted was Ring of Honor Women's Champion Roxy.
AEW.
We have the first match announced for the Battle of the Belts special on TNT coming up on January 8th. Dr. Britt Baker will defend the AEW Women's Championship against Riho. There was an upset on last Friday's Rampage. Daniel Garcia rolled up and pinned Eddie Kingston, as Garcia 2.0 and the Acclaimed beat Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz, and the AEW Tag Champs, the Lucha Brothers. Also on the show, Ty Conti won a submission match against Penelope Ford, but after the match, the Bunny knocked out Conti with a pair of brass knuckles. Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, and Rocky Romero beat the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, and Bobby Fish. Trent pinned Fish. Also, Cody and Dustin Rhodes got into a scuffle with Dan Lambert and the Men of the Year. Sammy Guevara ran out to save the Rhodes boys. AEW announced that there will be 2 Owen Hart Cup tournaments, one for the men and one for the women. Those will be held in May. Jordynne Grace will defend Impact Wrestling's Digital Media Championship against Kiera Hogan on the debut show for the Upstart Terminus promotion on January 16th. At GCW's show in Los Angeles over the weekend, Effie and Allie Katch beat Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green. Cardona said he was quitting GCW after the match. Jonathan Gresham defended the Ring of Honor World Championship with a win over AJ Gray. And the Briscoes beat Brody King and PCO to retain the GCW Tag Team titles.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Filthy Tom Lawler is still the strong openweight champion. He retained the gold by choking out Fred Rosser in the main event of Saturday night's New Japan Strong. Taylor Rust, a former member of Team Filthy before he signed with WWE, showed up after the match and attacked Lawler. A new version of Black Tiger has surfaced on Strong. He teamed up with Team Filthy's JR Kratos and Royce Isaacs to beat Finjuice and Rocky Romero, the former Black Tiger, who shed the persona more than a decade ago. The new Black Tiger pinned Romero with the Black Tiger driver. Also on the show, the DKC and Kevin Knight beat Jordan Clearwater and Brogan Finley. Back in Japan, New Japan is running 4 Road to Tokyo Dome shows this week. The first show is on Tuesday, with Shingo Takagi and Hiromu Takahashi versus Kazuchika Okada and Robbie Eagles in the main event. It is a free show on New Japan World. In Stardom, Momo Watanabe turned on her former faction Queen's Quest and joined Oedo Tai over the weekend. That is Just Pro Wrestling News for Monday, December 20th. Our next update comes your way tomorrow morning, so please rate, review, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. I'm Matt Carlins. Thank you for listening.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.